Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Saturday, May 5th, 2018. My name is Rich, and joining me to talk about Avengers Infinity War is Bijan. How are you making out?
Greetings and salutations, my man. I am feeling great, and Infinity War, amazing. Good stuff. Good vibes today. I like this episode. All around. Thumbs up.
I wish we could. We'll have to do it after the episode re-record because we're here to talk Ninja vs. Ninja episode 10 and some ANW news that's been coming out. So lots of stuff going on. The season is ramping back up.
Dude, a lot going on, man. Like, a lot of action in this episode, but as you said, a lot of action behind the scenes. The season's coming up. You know, season 10 is coming up way sooner than everybody is expecting, and, all the news is coming out, man. Dropping bombs.
Yeah, one piece of news that you were already aware of being at the taping, we should get into first here, because we have questions from Twitter, and one of them's been out there for a while there. Nathan Stinson on Twitter asked us about the Mega Wall. Wanted to know our opinion on it. And
explain what it is, man.
Yeah, they finally announced that the Mega Wall is going to be a thing in the qualifiers for each city. That is an 18-foot warped wall next to the 14.5-foot one that we were used to. The ninjas have the choice of either taking 3 attempts at the regular wall as usual, or they can take 1 at the Mega Wall for $10,000. But if they miss it, they only have 1 shot at the regular wall. They only have 1 chance at the Mega Wall, and if they miss it, they only get 1 shot at the regular one afterwards.
Yeah. Just to remind everybody, when they had the All-Star competitions, I mean, there were very, very few people that can even reach maybe 17 feet, let alone 18 feet. Like, Rich, what's the record right now? Was it 19 feet?
I think so. I think, if I'm not mistaken, John Alexis Jr. was able to do it 19. If not, it was darn near 19.
Yeah, so just think about that. We're looking at a foot difference. And, of course, every foot matters by far, everyone. But 18 feet is huge. So, very much so, if you get up this warped wall, you earned it. Not even doing it in one single stroke, but you have to get past the entire city qualifier, which is no easy task in itself. So, I am all for this. The $10,000 is a fantastic addition. We've heard from a lot of ninjas over the past few seasons that, there's no monetary incentives, especially for the qualifying rounds and everything. Of course, there's $1 million prize, but as we all know, only one person's ever reached it in 10 seasons. And, it's going all the way to Vegas. So what makes a ninja really want to go all the way out during the qualifiers? What makes them stop from not, risking injury halfway through? Like, they made it, they're good. So this is a fantastic addition. I'm all for it. Get $10,000. I mean, that is really dope. We all know NBC can afford that. Like, but
yeah.
That said, they aren't making it easy. You have to not only get through the entire qualifying course, which this year I have to imagine is going to be very tough, but then you only get 1 shot. And the key is that if you have to take that risk, because if you fail at it, you only get 1 shot at the regular warped wall. And the key that I think a lot of people are thinking of, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, why not just go for it? I mean, $10,000, just do it, right? You have to remember, once you get to the end of that, the qualifying course, you can be completely winded. We've seen ninjas that can do warped walls in their sleep, struggle at the warped wall, the irregular warped wall, just because, they are tired, their muscles are locked, there can be many things going on, and now you have to explode up to do an 18-foot warped wall, where I'm guessing maybe 1 or 2 ninja gyms in the country maybe have something close to that, but I can't imagine many others. I mean, it's not something that a lot of these ninjas have trained for. So it's all new, it's all cool, but I gotta say this. How dope is it going to be seeing somebody try for it? This is the new thing. This is the thing where it really engages the audience. It's this very special treat where even if they get to the end of the course, there's still that question. Are they going to go for the 10K or are they just going to go for the buzzer? Like, which one are they going to go for? And one little thing, little like behind the scenes tidbit is that when a competitor gets to the end of the course, and there's that little drop of like that little pad drop to get to the ground to, run up to the warped wall. There are 2 lanes, and you have to land in the lane before you go to it. So, for instance, you can't just drop down to the lane of the regular warped wall and then decide, oh, I'm going to go for the 10K warped wall. No, you have to decide beforehand, drop down, and then you're locked in. So it's really this fun thing where I can see a lot of ninjas like scoping it out and then like playing with the audience, being like, should I go for this one or this one? And everybody, I think it could be a really fun dynamic. Other than that, I'm going to stay tight-lipped until the episodes start happening. But I got to say, great addition. I'm loving it. And I think this is going to be really fun.
Yeah, I think it was a really genius move because one of the nice things about this is that in the qualifiers, our favorite ninjas almost look bored, right? They are used to the courses. They don't really find the qualifiers all that challenging most of the time. So it's nice to see them back after having been a year since we last saw them. But this makes it even more exciting because we're going to see them challenged. We're going to see them actually pushing themselves right from the beginning of the season. So I think it's a great addition. Absolutely.
Yeah, completely agree, man. The thing is, when we talk about the qualifiers, as you said, the ninjas, like the great ninjas like Drew Deschel and everybody, they look bored. And this is going to make it fun for the audience to see these competitors not only make it through the qualifiers, but even if they look strong, there's still that question mark. Can they get the 10K? And even if they do, you're so much happier for them because you know how much work they put into it.
Yeah, that's going to be great to see. Can't wait to see you take on that $10,000 prize when we get to see the premiere episode. But before then...
Look forward to it, everyone. You should have seen my eyes when I looked under, like, when I was at the bottom of that, just looking up.
Oh, for real. If you haven't seen a 14-foot warped wall in person, you really don't appreciate the size of it. When I saw that in person, a whole different experience. So 18 feet just must be insane in person.
Just a whole lot of nope happening.
But there is another announcement here that totally took me by surprise. I had no idea this was coming. I'm going to put on my official voice here and do the official announcement we got was Universal Kids, that's NBC Universal Cable Entertainment's network for kids 2 to 12, brings kids into the action this fall with the world premiere of American Ninja Warrior Jr. in October. Matt Eisman and Akbar Bajabiamila will reprise their roles as hosts and guide kids through the competition. American Ninja Warrior Jr. will include all of the high-impact action of the original series while making the world of Ninja Warrior accessible to some of its biggest fans. In the new series, boys and girls will compete together on the same head-to-head courses. The course will also feature iconic obstacles including Sonic Swing, Tick-Tock, Spin Cycle, and the Warped Wall. The competition will be open to 3 age groups, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and 13 and 14-year-olds.
This show really isn't for necessarily me, right? But I am so happy this is a thing because I can see this being really big. I can see a lot of families and children really enjoying this. I mean, I go back to the 90s myself, and I loved shows like this where, I mean, I forget the name. Oh, shame on me. But you all know it's like the pyramid thing, and like all the kids have to like do all these physical challenges to get up the pyramid, all that stuff, and slimes. It was on Nickelodeon. Like, I love that stuff. And this kind of has, it's not obviously the same, but it's kids going through almost a jungle gym, like all these things that they can play with. And like now kids no longer just see adults doing this, but now they can see people their own age doing this kind of stuff and them wanting to be on it. And I think this can be really fun. I mean, I say go all out, have fun with it, guys. Include slime. Just rip off Nickelodeon or find your own version of it, I mean, we know Wipeout had the giant balls where they're flipping all over the place. Of course, safety. I mean, maybe that's not a fair thing. But, find some of the zaniness and the wackiness with it. And I think this can be a really, really fun offshoot for American Ninja Warrior. And I'm really curious to see how people embrace it, It is going to be on a smaller network, but really, I mean, it has a chance to be big. I don't know how to describe it other than that, I think viral marketing is going to play a major part in this. Seeing clips online, because in the younger generations, YouTube and other social media plays a major part. Kids are on watching clips and stuff like that, and I think this show plays really well to that. So I don't know. I've got good vibes about it. Probably not a show I'm going to be seeing every single week, but I'm very happy it's a thing.
Yeah, I doubt we're going to be covering that one, even though it will be in the off season. But there is a chance I'll talk Bijan into covering maybe the first episode. Maybe we'll check it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. First episode, let's do this. But other than that, I don't think everybody needs a play-by-play every week. Like Sally this week, was totally killing the course. It's like, all right, let's calm down, guys. But first episode, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting that Matt and Akbar are going to be doing the commentary. I think kids are going to go absolutely nuts for this. They have been tearing it up on the local competitions. They are the biggest fans of Ninja by far. Like there is. Oh yeah. As much as we're huge fans and, there's lots of older fans, nothing on kids. Kids just absolutely eat this up.
Yeah, Ninja Gyms I go to, it's almost 50-50, kids and adults.
So let's get into the episode here. We've got Ninja vs. Ninja episode 10. This was different. This was, they switched up the format. I got
to tell you, I'm going to spoil one part of it. Well, not even spoil, but I just got to say, this episode accentuates why my favorite all-time overall American Ninja Warrior is David Campbell. This guy is a national treasure, a hero, an icon, a brilliant, fantastic man. I love him. And we will get more into it later, but let's just say everything I want from the show, he has given me.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you. A ding for everything that he provided us this episode. What a brilliant man.
I appreciate this show on two levels. I appreciate it myself as, a fan of the show, but there's just that extra layer when I'm watching something and, Bijan is going to lose his mind when he sees that. Like, just some picture-perfect moments.
I was screaming in pure joy. What an amazing man. Take notes, everyone. You're going to be on this show. Take notes.
All right, so let's take a look at the matchups. First up, we had Midwest Muscle versus Lizard Kings. And man, that was a really good squaring off. Went a little bit better than I hoped, because I did pick Midwest Muscle, and they did end up losing. But man, they put on a good fight. Tyler had two moments where he had it within his grasp, and it just kind of slipped away. And it was I felt bad for him, but man, what a fight they put up.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I mean, he's small, and that's never really an excuse when it comes to him. He makes up for his size. He's fantastic, but unfortunately, when you're on the shorter end and it comes to warped wall, the margin for error is that much slimmer. And unfortunately, he just didn't have whatever it was. I mean, technically, he seemed fine. It could have been whatever it was. I don't even know, but he just couldn't get up there. And that sucks because he was up ahead. I don't know. That's got to be the worst. Just thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
You fought all the way to the course, and then you just fail right at slip at the really end, and then you're like, no! And then you just see the guy pass. But it's whatever. I mean, they're having fun. I don't think Tyler is beating himself up over it or anything. No. I mean, they're having fun.
No, he did great. Like I said, he just slipped up. He said he has to be perfect. He can do the wall. We've seen him do it a bunch of times, but he has to be perfect. He can't rush it in the same way, and he probably should have taken a couple more seconds to square himself up before he went. But a great run. He pushed his way past Hunter on the bungees. There was so much battling on those bungees and for that pipeline, right? It was just absolutely insane. How do you feel about that
obstacle? Because, we haven't seen this obstacle this season, I don't think. So what's your feeling on it?
I thought it was a really terrible obstacle until I saw these ninjas tackle it, because I thought, well, that's kind of stupid. It's got no way to get past anyone. It doesn't really... It seemed to be a bad mix of obstacles where it was heavily upper body, but you could block the other person and then they would have to stand around on the budgies waiting for it.
Yeah, I mean, I go 50-50. I see what you mean. The bungees are deceptively a very difficult obstacle. It's one of those few ones where the ninjas fly through it and they make it look way easier than it actually is. Guys, the bungees are an awful thing to do in real life. They're just god awful. You have to have next level grip strength and just I don't know. That obstacle is so hard to do. But these guys, they have the grip strength and the training to do it. So they make it look easy. But it does provide that chance to get ahead, right, if you're not picture perfect. But at the same time, I don't know. There's a middle part, where the I don't even know what you call it, but that little hanging thing where you grab onto with your legs.
The pipe.
The pipe, yeah. It's one of those things where it looks cool, but how much room do you have to overlap somebody? Now, obviously, we saw it at the very end, but other than that, I didn't see much of a chance for it. So I go 50-50. If I see in the future more people getting past one another with that part, I might change my mind. But right now, I'm just like, for me, it's dependent on who gets to that first. But I don't know. It's still better than the shelf grab and a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, it did definitely provide that funnel where they got held up. We saw, Ethan versus Kyle. Kyle got to the pipe first, and Ethan muscled on with him. But there's just so much room he can get on there, right? They were battling for it as best they could, but if you got to it first, it was really, really difficult to get past.
Yeah, even if you wrap your legs around the guy, it's if you're behind him, it's still not going to make a difference. You're not going to. You have to basically find a way to beat David Campbell and jiu-jitsu it or something,
Right.
But other than that, the one thing that stood out to me when it came to this whole matchup was Kyle Soderman. This was, once again, a breakout for him, and I don't know. I think they are really high on Kyle, and I think when it comes to American Ninja Warrior, because this is going to be his first season on it, I think they are very much going to highlight him. I think they're really enjoying what he's providing them in terms of charisma, excitement, energy, and pure skill. Just by editing and everything I'm seeing, he's going to be a very, very big star in the upcoming season.
Yeah, I'm wondering how he's going to tackle the course, because we can see he can move at unprecedented speed. The guy is amazingly fast, but I know he's smart too, and I think he'll probably take his time. So he's really going to have to strike that balance. If he wants the airtime, he's got to be exciting and he's got to draw people in. So I'm wondering if he's going to be as amped, right? He's so competitive, and I think that's what's driving him right now.
We've seen him on a show. So I've seen him on a little show called Ultimate Beastmaster. So I have no doubt in my mind that he knows how to play up to the camera, because we've seen it before.
That's true.
And he will take his time and have a more, varied approach to it. Obviously, he had to go all out for this, but I don't know. I think he's going to have that speed still, but I think he's going to be I think a little bit, not cautious is the right word, but he's going to take his time and conserve his energy during American Ninja Warrior. And I don't know. Honestly, I think they're going to be playing towards his charisma more than anything else the first season. It's the first season. They need stories anyways. They can play him up. He doesn't need to go all out. Maybe his fourth season in, he needs to change some things up and go more faster or whatever. But I don't know. This is his first season. I think he is perfectly fine. I think we are going to see a lot of Kyle Soderman.
I would be absolutely shocked if he doesn't try for the 18-foot wall. There is no way he doesn't try the mega wall.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like the kind of dude that's going to go for it.
Super nice guy. If you didn't hear our episode, rewind back to our Ultimate Beastmaster coverage. Kyle was great. But yeah, Lizard Kings ended up taking it in the relay. It was such a good race. But Tyler fell on the tiles, unfortunately, and let Hunter get past. It was just...
Damn, another heartbreak, man. Poor Tyler. Not the night, but dude's awesome. Just, I don't know. He gave it his all. I can't fault him. It wasn't there's sometimes I see people fall and I'm like, oh. But this was one where he really had to make go for it. And it just, sometimes it comes out awesome and sometimes, you fall in the water. And this is just one of those cases.
So Lizard King's moving on. Not a real big surprise. We kind of figured they were going to be moving on from this episode. Yeah. Next up, again, not a huge surprise. We had Frostbite versus the All-American Ninjas. Rico Rivera stepping in for Jonathan Horton, who had an injured foot.
Dude, I love it. I love Rico Rivera, man.
Dude's
great. So good. So good. And he does not get the airtime he deserves. I feel like every season he's getting skipped. And he always brings, awesome costumes, all this excitement. And I'm like, dude, show this guy. He is awesome. They delegated his amazing dinosaur run to online. Obviously, it blew up virally. Right. But, I don't even think that was aired on TV, was it?
No, it wasn't. But, he got to see, more people got to see it online than, it's one of those runs. I almost hate to see those runs happen because I'm sure you get the same thing. Everybody that knows I watch American Ninja Warrior for the next 6 months to a year. Did you see the dinosaur run? Yes, I saw the dinosaur run the course. Yes, I saw the little girl in the backyard gym. Yes, I saw the short woman do the warped wall. That happened a few years ago.
I prefer those over like the quote unquote oldest guy ever on American Ninja Warrior. That's the one that annoys me. Other than that, I'm cool with it. Because the oldest guy, they play it up like it's an actual record. And I'm like, man, there's actual, 80-year-olds that have done this, and actually completed an obstacle.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with the dinosaur completing the course and all that. That's dope, man. I'm all for it. Give me Pac-Man. Just go crazy with it, guys. Go all out. We're all over the place. What were we talking about again?
We're back. We're on the Frostbite versus All American Ninjas. And this matchup wasn't quite as exciting as the first one. I kind of saw where it was going. They put up a good fight for sure. Rico did a good job filling in for Jonathan. Zhanique was the first to the wall, but her shoes were wet and she ended up missing, and April ended up bringing it home for her team. That was probably the biggest moment of the matchup that I remember.
I really liked that run. The two women, they're very similar in build, taller for female competitors and very toned. They are very, very fit. Yeah, I was just curious because they bring different approaches to, of course, or backgrounds, I guess you could say, right? And I was curious who would win out. And it very much looked like Zhanique having the experience of training, just in the backyards and all this stuff. She was really doing well, but one little slip up really got her. And April, she was right on her heels and was able to surpass her. And I don't know, those were ones where I really appreciated because you saw the heart and grit from both women and they gave it their all. Major props. I mean, that was exciting stuff.
Yeah, and in the relay, all it took was one slip up. Paul Hamm missed the ring, and that was it. Frostbite won. It was pretty picture perfect. Otherwise, they just ran through the course, dead even with the women, and then it just couldn't make up that gap afterwards.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I love Frostbite, so props to all American Ninjas, but I saw Frostbite taking that one easily.
But the big interesting matchup was the third one. We had Dark Horse versus NorCal Ninjas. This is where the major happenings were going on this episode.
This was amazing. So why don't you break down just the overall story of what happened getting to the final relays?
So in the regular races, in the one-on-one matchups, Dark Horse was 2 wins to 1. So that meant that in order to win, NorCal Ninjas had to win 2 relays in a row. And I gotta say, there's some pretty strong ninjas like Lance Pekus, Karson, Voiles, and Tammy McClure are no joke.
Yeah, especially in terms of age and everything else, Brian Kretsch and David Campbell, they're 2 of the OG ninjas. I forget, I think both of them have competed on every season of American Ninja Warrior. I'm pretty sure Kretsch also has. Yeah. So, they bring the experience big time. But at the same time, they are bringing, older age. I'm not calling them old, but you know what I mean. So I was just curious to see, the raw athleticism from Dark Horse compared against NorCal Ninjas who bring that experience. And, you saw both the pluses and minuses through them. Brian Kretsch was having some difficulties in some of the spots. I don't really blame him. I mean, it looked like he was battling maybe a knee injury and some other stuff. Plus, as mentioned, I mean, dude's competing against some really tough competition. But David Campbell, he used his brain. He outmaneuvered Lance Pekus, really. I feel like he outmaneuvered him in both relays when it came to that final or that penultimate obstacle. And that's what ultimately led them to a win. So are we breaking down what happened right now? Or why don't you give your thoughts, really?
My thoughts were that David Campbell is a lunatic on this course and incredibly competitive because even in the first matchup, even though he lost it, he only lost it because he didn't care if that Karson was on those tiles already. He was going through and ended up going on the same tile as him and causing both of them to crash.
I love that man. Yes, he went for broke, It did not matter that Karson Voiles was on those tile obstacle. And we've seen many times people wait. David Campbell wasn't going to do that. David Campbell, I don't even know if he saw Karson Voiles. He's like, nope, You are invisible to me. I am going through this. And they land on the same tile, and they both slip and fall. But really, I applaud his approach. Go for it. Take risks. Just give it your all. And I'm all for it. You run into him, whatever. But I'm all for it. And of course, you never want it to be dirty, right? Like just absolutely mean-spirited, I would be fine with it if somebody elbowed somebody, just saying. But, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't. But this is the approach what you want, where it's just, pure competition, where it's, you're just going through it and, you're going for broke. And I absolutely applaud him for that. And then we get to the relays, bro. And, he just stole my heart. Like, what were you thinking when you saw what you saw was happening during the relays?
I didn't know what to make of it, because up until that point, it really looked like Dark Horse was taking it home, right? After, as much as David battled well in his matchup, he did lose that round. Tammy then won her round, so they're up 2-0, and Lance was ahead but falling on the tiles. So at that point, it was like, okay, so Lance slipped up. They'll just bring it home in the relay. That definitely did not happen because all it took was Karson to miss the ring. They lose the relay 1. And I had no idea. The way they looked pretty strong. It's like, okay, so the final relay, I didn't know which way it was going to go. And then you see Lance getting ahead on those bungees. And it's like, it's over. We've seen over and over again that was it. There's no way to get past.
Especially if you reach the pipe first.
Yes, exactly. Once he was on that pipe, it was like, well, that's it. Unless he can pull off a miracle, and here comes a miracle, because I can't even describe the maneuver he did. I don't understand how. Like, it wasn't that Lance let him by. Because Lance definitely put himself in his way. Like, yeah, he deliberately put himself right in his way, like trying to block him out, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it was like a fight. Both of them Lance Pekus is ahead of David Campbell on that final pipe. David Campbell wraps his legs around Lance Pekus and just maneuvers around him while they're both moving down that pipe. It was like, I don't even know how to describe it. They're moving, but some way or another, David Campbell manages to get around the guy and get off that pipe first. And he wins the whole thing. And he outmaneuvered him. He won it all. He took chances. He wasn't going to be polite or too nice or anything that we've seen in previous episodes. He went for it and took the win. And I applaud him for it, honestly. That was amazing. And once again, it goes back to the story of, really, when you look at NorCal Ninjas, both in last season and this current season, they were the underdogs in all their episodes. But yet they always found a way to overcome the odds and win. It seems to always go down to relays with them. And in the relays, they find a way to persevere. Where the individual matchups, they might have one slip up or another. But in the relay, when all 3 team members are there, they rise each other up and take the win. I applaud them. I ding them. Especially David Campbell. He was the MVP of this episode. And once again, plays to a really cool story of them. Because I guarantee you, when it comes to NorCal Ninjas, they aren't lauded or toted at the same level as a bunch of the other teams in terms of charisma or whatever, screen time. They bring up the NorCal Ninjas, but you're never like, hey, let's get an interview with Brian Kretsch now, or David Campbell, really, But they're always there winning their matches, and it's awesome.
Yep, and speaking of awesome, next week we are going to see 8 more teams for another Wildcard episode.
Ooh, boy. I'm doing my guesses, or my picks, so let's hear it. What do we got?
So the matchups we have for next week are Beasts from the East versus Wisco Warriors. That's Drew Knopf's team, if you can't remember. Hashtag Ninjas versus Big Dog Ninjas.
Ugh.
Battle of the names there. 3 Wishes versus the Ballers. And Team Wolfpack versus Hazard Brigade.
Those are some interesting matchups. I'm really looking forward to seeing 3 Wishes, definitely. That I think they're going to bring some entertainment. Who are they matching up against?
The Ballers. Lauren Ball's team.
Gotcha. That's a good team also. I think that's going to be a very action-packed matchup. Very fast runs. Because both teams, I don't think they're going to take very conservative approaches. Obviously, we're on a show where not many people are, but I think they're going to go extra out of the way to go crazy. Also, the Bees, I think they're going to do fantastic. They're really good. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Wisco Warriors. You know, they really surprised me in their initial matchup. I was really sleeping on them, but man, they opened my eyes. I'm actually looking at them. Who are the Wisco Warriors against? Are they up against anybody?
They're up against Beast from the East, so they're up against... Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough, man.
Oh, and there seems to be a substitution on their team, too. I don't know what happened here, but we'll probably find out. So it's not Sarah Heason, it's Christine On stepping in for.
Interesting. Yeah, both are good. Okay, cool. I don't know what in terms of difference of skill. I think both women are, you know, they're both really good. They're not like the top of the pack, but they're both really good. You know, they're going to definitely hold their own. So... yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a question mark matchup. I really don't know who to take because the Beasts bring a little bit more experience, but Wisco, you know, they've got that youth hunger. So I feel like we might have an upset there. But I don't know. I'll go with Beast, you know. Never going to doubt on Beast McGrath, man. He's dope.
Yeah, I think I would pick Wisco in that case, just from what we saw. I remember being really impressed with them. Mm-hmm. Like, they were really, really good. So
yeah, don't fault you for that. That's a good one.
No question for me in the next one. Not that there should be a question because they're two very evenly matched. Hashtag versus Big Dog. Big Dog's hugely good team, but Nicholas Coolidge is one of my favorites, so I got to pick Hashtag.
Yeah, they're great, but I feel like everybody loses when either of the names are pronounced loudly. So that said, genuinely, Hashtag Ninjas, they are a very good team, deserving of a much better name. And yeah, I hope they get, you know, the time to shine because they're good.
So 3 Wishes versus Ballers. Do you have 3 wishes?
I do, yeah.
I'd take Ballers in that case.
Yeah,
I think.
Do man. I mean, once again, either teams can win in this. It's not like before where it's like there's a big disparity in skill. Man, they're all very even. There's a reason they're all here, guys. And
that's a really good point.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure, because it's exactly that. Every matchup is like, that could really go either way, and that's kind of the point at this point, right? We're looking at some of the best teams. Mm-hmm. So Team Wolfpack versus Hazard Brigade, which I wouldn't have initially thought was going to be terribly close. Yeah, I could see it being very close after seeing Mike Needham tear it up.
I got Hazard Brigade on that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love Wolfpack, but I don't know. I got to see something from them this season.
You know what? No, I think I would have Wolfpack mainly because I definitely think Jerry Dorilio has Grace Sims' number.
Ooh, yeah. Jerry's great.
Well, that was it for this week. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151.
All right. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.